I ain't left no crumbs.
And I really do like bowling. You know, it's very satisfying. I think, you know, I'm one of these people that I deal with a lot of frustration. I've got a lot of, like, you know, anger. But I don't know what to do with it on a day-to-day basis. A lot of anger at society. But when you're bowling, you know, you can imagine that those pins at the bottom are your problems, you know? And then you can get the big heavy ball and you can toss it down the aisle and maybe smash your problems away. Although obviously there is a mechanized structure in place to put all your problems back where they were in a perfect row. And you have to do it again in a Sisyphean fashion where the problems never quite ever go away. Maybe that's what life is. Maybe we don't realise it, but life is just one big game of bowling. And if that's true, that means right now I'm at least on frame 4, you know? I reckon I'm on frame 4. If you factor frame 1 is sort of like until you're 10, frame 2 is, you know, your 20s, frame 3 is 30s. I'm coming up to frame 4. And I don't know. I'm hoping I'm going to get a strike, but you just don't know, do you? You just don't know. It could be the gutter. The biggest change in bowling now, and this is one I've noticed in various, pretty much all bowling establishments, actually. Shoes. The bowling shoes. They've given up on that. That's one of those things where it's like, it was a fight that bowling alleys were having for years and years and years. It was like, if you're going to come bowling, you have to have bowling shoes. Not bring them. They have them. They rent them out for free or included in the price. But you know how it would be. You'd go in, they'd say, what's your size? And then you'd feel self-conscious and you'd go, 6.5. Even though you know you're not a 6.5. You know you're a 7.5. And you go, okay, 7.5. And they go, we don't do that. We only do 8. So they give you an 8. And then you got these big clowny bowling shoes on that probably have all verrucas or whatever in them. I know they spray them with something, but come on, that's a placebo. What is in there? And I remember even back then, I'd always think, hold on, what do you mean? Like, why do I have to wear specific shoes to bowl here? Like, I don't see any professional bowling going on here. They don't do tournaments here. What are you worried about? The floor is wood. Am I going to scratch it? Well, I'm more likely to scratch it with these clumsy ass bowling shoes on that I'm probably going to trip over in. That's more likely than what, my trainers? My flats? Come on. But I think they've just fully given up on that now, because now when you go into most of these bowling places, they still have the shoes and you can rent them if you want, you know, just so you get the full nostalgic experience. I don't know, maybe they saw someone renting shoes on Stranger Things, and these kids today, they're like, oh, I need to rent some shoes or whatever, like they did in Stranger Things. Millie Bobby Brown rented some shoes. But most people, they don't want to do it. They don't want to mess with it. No one wants to take their shoes off in public, in a public place. And the bowling alleys have got wise to this, you know. So now they're just like, listen, if it's trainers, you can do it. But I reckon they wouldn't even care these days if you were in 7-inch heels. I bet they'd let drag queens bowl, which I think should be illegal. I think should be banned, because there are kids there, isn't there? Kids bowling.